All right, what's going on, guys? So the other day I was just scrolling through Craigslist and I came across my old car. It's a 2009 STI hatchback. I bought it bone stock probably about 4 years ago, and it had ringling failure. Right after I bought it, I did a compression test and I ended up needing to pull the motor out, do a full rebuild on it. So basically, I built this whole car. I've filmed it all. A lot of you guys who are subscribed to me probably seen my previous videos. I bought this car bone stock, built it, did a rotated turbo setup on it. Car made about 500 wheel horsepower. I ended up selling it about 2 years ago, and since then, it's been passed around to about 4 different owners. And at this point, nobody could figure out what was wrong with it. They said the car has a fuel pressure problem. It's breaking up. So the prices dropped rapidly, and it popped up about 2 hours away from where I live. So I decided I should go pick it up. So basically, my goal with this car is just to bring it back to life, and I figured I'd film it. I know I have a lot of subscribers on here that have followed my previous Subaru builds. So I figured now is the time to make a video of this car now that I got it back. So the car was running and driving when I got it. When it gets up to operating temperature, it kind of stumbles a little bit, which makes me think it's either a cam or a crank sensor, but I'll see. I already pulled the motor out of it. I've had it a day, and I'm starting to think it may be like I said, a cam or a crank sensor. I found some corroded wiring, and that might be part of the problem. So it looks like somebody's actually been here recently. I was told that the guy who bought it, one of the 4 owners that got it, ended up having the motor pulled out and the rear main seal replaced. But this is it. It looks like it's been neglected a little bit, just from like rust. Somebody must have drove it through the winter and the salt kind of ate away at some stuff. So I figured I'd pull the motor back out. I'll just go through it. I'm probably going to repaint the intake manifold, throw some new gaskets on it, replace a few of these sensors that I think might be the problem, and basically go from there. Fix this. There's a couple things that I want to go through and basically just bring it back to life. The whole purpose of pulling it back out is basically touch everything myself again, because I honestly don't know what anyone else has done with this. And if I'm going to be driving again, I want to make sure the car is solid. This is what it looks like now. It still has the Crawford catch can, the downpipe. Everything that I did is still on there. Over here, I got the old turbo set up, Tial wastegate, all my intercooler piping in the car with speed density. I'll post a walk around video when I have it up on the trailer, but the interior is the same. Somebody stained the rear seats, but nothing I can't get out with maybe like an extractor. So they also took the radio out and put this shitty one in there. Other than that, I mean, they haven't put many miles on it. It's gone through 4 owners, and it probably only has 6,000 more miles on it than when I sold it. So also another reason why I want to pull the motor out is because when I first built this car, I ended up putting a 20G turbo in it. I only planned to make about 400. And this clutch has always gave me problems. Because I went rotated, I ended up making about 500 wheel. This clutch actually kind of started slipping and would give me problems getting into gear all the time. So I figured I would upgrade this to something a little more beefy. This is the SB10 HDSS. I think this thing's really only good for maybe 405 or 415 torque. And I was putting down about 475, 480 torque. So I'll get a new clutch ordered, and then basically just go from there. So I ended up taking the intake manifold off and plugged all the holes on top of the engine so I can go ahead and clean it. Looks like there's some buildup of coolant or oil, and there's also some debris on top too. But through the process of taking the intake manifold off, I've noticed this wiring harness has a lot of like cuts and breaks in it from just old brittle wiring. And it also looks like somebody tried to fix it before. So I'm pretty sure that's the oil control valve. Looks like somebody soldered it right there. And the plug is kind of falling apart. Same over here, where all the plugs go into their sensors, they're all breaking. So I'm either going to replace this harness or see how bad it actually is and take off the split loom and maybe just repair it. Probably better off replacing it though. And like I was saying, one of the main reasons for pulling the motor out too is to replace this clutch. So this, like I said, this is only rated for like 415, and I was putting down around 480. And this is the pressure plate. So this is probably a mixture of doing some highway pulls and launches. So it kind of shredded that. And this thing's pretty wasted too. Still has some life left, but not enough to want to put in another car. But that's pretty much it. I'm wrapping it up for the night. I got the intake manifold over here, all these other parts. I got the turbo separated. I'm going to go ahead and probably paint that along with the intercooler piping because it's all chipping. Same with this intake manifold. But that's a wrap for now. I'll probably pick up on this another day.